My name is Jonatan. I am the vice chairman of the Danish Zionist Federation, which is an umbrella organization for all the Zionist and Jewish organizations in Denmark. About 4,000 or 5,000 people. We do all we can to support Israel and to show awareness to show that Israel is more than just conflict. We like to give out free wine, for example, and generally we go out to schools if they ask for that. We talk to the media about Israel, always being very Israel friendly, and try to give a sense of what an Israeli would think about things.
And how did you come in contact with the Zionist organization?
In 2008, I was on a bus ride tour that was paid for by the Jewish community in Denmark, a free tour to Israel. So that made me close. I think but really my parents are the ones who are a member of the Zionist organization, and I tagged along. What the Zionist organization do in Denmark, we have these go-home meetings, we call them. I don't know if you say the same in Sweden, but at 5, 6, 7 o'clock, some interesting person will come and give a talk or show some pictures, and many times this could be the ambassador, the Israeli ambassador, to come and talk about a certain subject. Could be the war in Gaza, could be something else. And I would always want to go to them because I'm very, very interested in international politics and especially Israel.
So can you describe how the situation for the Jews in Denmark look like?
Well, it's much better than in Sweden. Let me just start out by that. The situation is okay if you don't show that you are Jewish or a friend of Israel in Copenhagen, and especially in certain parts of Copenhagen where there is a large Arab population, then it's certainly dangerous to show that you're Jewish or a friend of Israel. But you can. I mean, if you don't show you're Jewish, it's okay. So what we have is in the synagogue in Copenhagen, the men, when they come out of the synagogue, they all make the same certain movement, certain sign. It's not secret. They just take off their kippah, because you don't walk around in Copenhagen with a kippah. That's so okay compared to Sweden, but in no circumstance okay if you want to have a country, have a town where everyone can wear what they want.
And how is the situation between the relationship between Denmark and Israel?
Well, it's actually a good relationship. Denmark has been one of the countries where the government has voted not to support Israel, but abstain from voting in certain votes in the UN, for example. I mean, it is okay. But now we have a left-wing government who has a big crisis with its own voter population. So it's worse now. But in general, okay.
Which parties in Denmark do you think support Israel the most?
That would be the Danish Folk Party, a counterpart to Sverigedemokraterne. I think there is something in the sense that when you view Muslim immigration to Sweden or to Denmark as a threat or as a problem, you can see it from the approach of an Israeli who also, where Muslims are also the enemy. I hope I have not offended anyone by saying that, but I think that is how it works.
How do you think we as Zionists must work today against anti-Zionism?
I think we need to have clear answers. We do have the facts on our side. Israel is actually doing a pretty good job in a very, very hard circumstances. They have been at war for 65 years, okay? But they are still a vibrant and open democracy. So what I like to say is, this is what we should say. One, Hamas and the forces among the Palestinians and the Arabs who want to destroy Israel, they're very powerful. 30, 40, 50, 60% of Palestinian support in some way the destruction of Israel, shows polls between 30 and 60. That's way too much if we want peace. Okay? These are facts. Also fact, Israel has proposed a peaceful solution to the conflict where the Palestinians get almost all of the West Bank and all of Gaza. Israel is actually proposing peace on every 5-10 years. Same peace plan, the Clinton parameters. We have the facts. We are not doing all bad. Israel is not a bad country doing bad things. It's actually a very good country doing kind of good things in very bad circumstances. We just keep talking about that sensibly, slowly, and clear. I think we have a chance to talk to a lot of people who don't hate Israel.
And if you would point out the greatest threat today for the Jews in Denmark and globally, what would you then say that is?
The demonizing and delegitimization of Israel. I fear very much that one day we do not have an Israel to come back to. I mean, Israel will always be the place where Jews and Zionists can come if there are problems, and so that is my greatest fear. And I also, as a European, as a Dane, it's very sad and hurtful to see Europe go up in anti-Semitism. It's very hard for me to see. I mean, this is not Nazi Germany time, to be fair. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that a strong ghost is showing its ugly face again, and I don't like that.
So the strongest anti-Israeli movements, who would you say they are in Denmark today? Is it the socialists or other groups?
It is very much the left wing supported by unions.
And I heard actually, I don't know if this is correct, but there was a social democrat of a kind saying in Denmark, I don't remember his name, maybe you know him, that Zionism and Israel should be put on the trash, you know?
True, yes, true.
Can you tell us more about
this? This was one of he is a Palestinian, and he is a member of the city municipality. He's a byrådsmedlem, and he wrote on Facebook, I believe that Israel and all the Zionists should be på historiens losseplads. No, the garbage of history. They should not exist.
Yes. So how was that approached by other politicians and the media in Denmark?
His first boss is of course the mayor of the city, in which he is also a member of the city parliament. He said, this is what he says. I'm quoting now. We have free opinions. We don't agree on everything here. He's entitled to have his opinions. That's what he said, and that is deplorable.
Yes.
It is.
And how, when you look at what is happening in Sweden, how do you feel about what's happening in Sweden, and what do you think about it?
I am very, very saddened to see how, I mean, it's very hard to describe in words, but the amount of anti-Israel, anti-Zionism, anti-Semitism, the way that you don't have a pro-Israeli voice in Sweden, the way that Jews are being treated, yelled at, hit, thrown stuff at here in Malmö where we are, and no one can talk about it. It makes me very, very sad. And if there's anything I can do to help, I would love to do that. And I'm very happy that there are people wanting to talk about this, because let me just say, this is one of the, what's happening now in Sweden, especially in Malmö, is one of the biggest problems in Europe today. It is the most sad thing to see.
And what do you think Sweden needs more of, in order to fight this back,
There needs to be a pro-Israeli voice. There needs to be a conversation. The good thing wouldn't be that every person in Sweden loves Israel. That's not where I want people to be. I'm very fine with a lot of people feeling sorry that the Palestinians are suffering. I'm perfectly fine with that. This is how I feel myself. But we need to have an open conversation. The facts, if people want to discuss this very much, they should at least have the facts. And a strong organization, pro-Israel organization, that can be a part of this discussion and come out with these facts, to share them with the general public in Sweden and with the politicians and media and other people who are in this debate. I think that could be a very, very good help, and that would help Sweden. And more than this is not just about Jews or Israel. This is about being a good human being. I mean, this is about core values of democracy and human rights that are totally being forgotten and neglected just because we need to talk bad about Israel. I don't like that at all. It was 1 year ago in September. Every year you have Taste the World in Copenhagen. You take a whole street, close it down, and lots of organizations represent all over the world. They come with food, and this is a festival for the world. This is multicultural. This is a world festival. Okay. Now we, the Danish Zionist organization, we said we want to be there too. Israel is part of the world. We want to be there. First of all, the organizers, who is a part of the city of Copenhagen, this is arranged by the city of Copenhagen. So they said to us, well, not say directly, but they really didn't want us to be there. They asked the Jewish members of the Jewish community to ask us not to come there. Okay, we still wanted to come, that didn't work. So they said to us, please don't bring the Israeli flag. Please don't be really. You can be there, but just don't let anyone know that you're there. We brought the Israeli flag, of course. Now, during the first day, this was really a nice party. People were happy. We were giving out free Israeli wine, great pickles. Pickles and Israeli wine is really good together. You should try it. So, during the first day of this festival, you had a group of 5 young radical socialists from something called Socialistisk Ungdomsfront. They put out like this wooden wall, and they stood with plastic guns. And then they said they dealt out these flyers saying the Zionists they shot in the Palestinians, so we will shut in the Zionists. So they put a wall. We had like this booth here on the table, and we had this Israeli wine. They put a wall in front of us, and then had this booklet also saying that we are racist and we like apartheid, which is totally false. Nothing to do with reality. With these radical socialists, there was 20-30 Arab youngsters who looked really angry. So the police, who was there all the time, we owe great thanks to the Danish police. They stood there, 8 men tall, in front of me, and then this group of people. That was very weird. Now it all ended well. Within half an hour, they got to be they were moved to be 50 meters to the left of us, giving out these flyers, and that said we were not really welcome, and we were. This is also very strange. There were Iranians, Iraqis, Kurdish, every Middle Eastern country, and Israel was the one who weren't allowed to be there because we are racist. Very, very strange. So, no. But we weren't attacked. we were there, we were safe. I don't think you could have done that in Rosengården or in Malmö in general. So in that sense, Copenhagen is a little bit better, but still not good enough.
So that's great to show that courage and that you still did it. You know?
We were happy to show that courage. Very happy. We'll be there again. You're all welcome to come.
Thank you.